Hello, I'm Dieter.
And I'm Kirsty.
And welcome to Win Some, Loosemore, a YouTube channel dedicated to the hobby of board games.
So we're going to be talking about our November month, the games we played during November, which actually weren't many this time, but we'll just tell you a bit about what we played
of them,
and
but
what we
more
thought
times.
of them.
Yeah, because we had a game that I picked up very, very cheap at my birthday. It's like a £5 or something, called Subdivision, which is kind of a sequel to a very popular game called Suburbia, tile laying hex game, and it's been sat on our shelf for a while because we just hadn't got round to it, and we decided to play it. We played it once and we've sold it. So that tells you what we thought of it. It was fine, there was nothing wrong with it. It was a very simple game, but the scoring mechanisms were a bit complicated for us in terms of to want to play it again.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, I got my head around the strategy or I got my head around how the game functions. It was, well, I don't really get why I would do any of these things. And then the game ended and we lost loads of points. Our fault, but there just didn't seem to be an easy way to explain what is really quite a simple game, and so that kind of made us go, yeah.
And as usual, I can't really remember any of it, and
That's all right.
if it was a great game, it would have
You
stood
would have
out.
remembered it. Speaking of what is becoming to us a great game,
Yeah, almost a favourite.
so I think we've spoken about this now for the last couple of months, but
Are you ready?
we weren't speaking about it again. Tapestry.
Tapestry.
So my review is finally up of this. Oh, nice. Magic. Always remembering the eye. Yeah, a link will have appeared when Kirsty pointed. Go check out my review. We've played this again and again. I've played it again and again and again.
And I win every time.
You do now. I think I won the very first one and you've won ever since.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, it's growing on us even more. What do you remember about this one?
What in this gameplay particular about
Yeah,
that?
why is this becoming more of a favourite for you?
So I like strategy, and I find it very easy to create a strategy for this game based on what I'm given. So you're given different
Civilizations.
yes, sorry. You're given different civilizations, and from that, I mean, they come with special abilities and stuff, and from that, you play the game, and I like that sort of thing. Stonemare, Maya, very good at that sort of thing. So yeah, it's easy strategy.
Yeah, there's only really 4 choices for your main strategy, and your choice, as you say, is based on these wildly different civilizations with special powers that you can get at the beginning of the game, and then throughout the game you're playing cards which have special abilities, so there is a lot of tactics involved, which card you play when, but it's much more, as you're saying, to serve an overall strategy, whereas you know, I tend to be better at purely tactical games.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
There's an end goal, but other than that you just figure it out as you go along,
Yeah.
whereas yeah, you like more strategic, whereas this
Where I create
marries-
myself rules and then I stick to them.
Yeah, and this allows you to do that.
Yeah.
But if you do that completely, and it's not set up to do it that way, it won't work. Which is most people's complaint. They think, oh, it's really swingy, it's really lucky. I think it is. Of course, it is. You're drawing random cards and stuff, so there's randomness. But you kind of need to be prepared for that, and so I would argue against that so much. But no, it's becoming a good favourite of ours. Tapestry, do check it out. It's great, and
it's a gamey game. So what I mean by that is, as I was playing it, I was thinking it's not the sort of game that I would introduce to non-gamers. Because I often think, oh, I wonder whether my parents would play this or family members would play this. But if you're not used to playing games with strategy and with things like that, and yeah, then it's a bit of a heavier game. But
Yeah, for those people.
But if you are into games, it's great. And
Yeah,
it's really
and
cool.
I think if we got to know it more and more and more, there might be the 2 or 3 different civilizations that you probably could give to a newbie, because they don't impact on the game. You don't need to build your strategy around it.
I think just the gameplay is.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Sure.
Too much.
So maybe like a next step thing.
Yeah.
Not you've never played games, or you only play Ticket to Ride level stuff, which is great. That's not to look down on those things. We've got a Ticket to Ride because we like it. But it's, yeah, if they are looking for something more strategic, this might be a key into that kind of thing. And yes, some civs are more complex than others, but sure, I get you. It's not a...
You get me, bruv.
I get you, bro.
We're from London. Okay.
So I finally... This doesn't come out very often, and it should come out more. Again, I picked up...
When did you play this?
I played this on Monday last.
Oh,
yeah,
friends.
took it to the group. Friends! Because they're getting sick of me taking Tapestry every week. So I took this instead. Marvel Legendary Deck Builder Cooperative. One of the few cooperatives that have survived in our collection. Where basically you get together 5 Marvel heroes and you're trying to take down a Marvel villain, and they've got henchmen and sidekicks and things, and they have a scheme that's going against you, and you've got to save bystanders. All the normal comic booky stuff, but done in a deck builder, which is a very simple mechanic that we enjoy.
We did enjoy it. Deck builder.
And you did enjoy this the time that we played it.
I think I did, yeah.
Because it's not... I can't tell you what to do cooperative.
I like that.
Like, there's no...
It was good, but it would be better without you.
Which is what she said of Thunderbirds. And so Thunderbirds pandemic type co-ops are... There's just a clear way that you should play to win. And yes, you can discuss that, or one person just gets bored and dictates it, and that's not fun for anybody. This, because you can be discussing and influenced on which cards you buy and that kind of thing. But it's random how they come out, so I can't dictate play to you. You can't dictate play to me. We are very much reacting to, oh no, this bad thing just appeared. And I've got to figure out how to use my cards to do the best that I can so that you can do the best you can. So it's...
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
So like some games are multiplayer solitaire, in which case what you're doing doesn't affect me at all. This is almost cooperative solitaire, in that we're each playing our own game against the bad guys.
Yeah.
But if I go here and do this thing, that doesn't necessarily directly impact you. There is some stuff that affects other people. But yeah, I picked up an expansion, the X-Men expansion, again for cheap over my birthday, and just hadn't used this. This only comes out 2 or 3 times a year, which is sad. I really enjoy it and need to play it more. So I took it to the group, and yeah, we had a great time with it. We won, but only just. I think 7 bystanders got kidnapped, and if we had 8 kidnapped, we lost. And that, so we were really close to losing, but we did win, and that was on kind of an easy level. So it's a good tension, good hardness level. Bye bye. So, oh, you're right. I didn't log that one. Kirsty's remembered another game that we played.
Excuse me. That was the box.
It was
list.
totally the box. Totally the box. All right, go on then. Go on then.
I don't know why I didn't log this. One of my favourites.
Yeah. I beat you.
Dimension. Yes, he did actually. So, isn't this a nice, cool little box? We got this at Board Games.
Bing! Another review.
What did we get this at?
UKGE.
UKGE. Last year? Last year. We did. Yeah. It was last year.
No,
this is a nice tactile game.
Sorry, carry on.
This year just gone. Yeah. This is a nice tactile game. It's this is a game that you could play with newbies. You've got some rules put down that change every game. You've got some rules put down in the middle of the table. Some colours have to touch other colours, some colours can't touch other colours, blah blah blah, and you have to complete as many rules as possible.
In 30 seconds.
In 30 seconds by building a tower of balls. I still really like this game.
Good.
It's actually quite difficult, I found. I mean, in theory it's not difficult, but it can get quite frustrating, can't it? When it's the time limit and you're like, oh, I forgot it. Oh, I only break 2 rules, and then you see a way that you can only break 1 rule, and but the time's up by the time you've dismantled it.
I do the annoying thing where I'm done in like 10-15 seconds. I've come up with an idea, I've put it together, and then I sit there for 5-10 seconds going, don't know what you guys are worried about, this is easy. And then look and go, oh no. Oh, I need to start pulling everything off. And time goes, so really I've only got 4 balls down and I've got 5 in my hand and they don't count, so I only get like 4 points.
Yeah.
Rubbish.
But it is a fun little game. It's no Tapestry. It's not even
not a strategy game.
It's not even similar. It's hard to compare to that sort of game because it's just not that game. But it's fun. It's just for people who aren't necessarily into games, perhaps a good game.
Yeah, it borders into that toy category.
Yes,
because it's very much the physical, tactile. You're playing with something rather than sitting there thinking strategy board game.
Yeah.
It crosses that line, which is good. We like that. Men at Work similarly does that kind of thing.
Yes.
We like games that are also toys.
Especially me.
Yeah.
Like
and Sulkin is probably the heaviest one that does that because it's got the cogs which physically move and you do these things. So they exist and we like those. Flip Ships does that as well. So from one of your favourites to one of my favourites, this is sadly the last one on this episode. For weeks now, for months on these updates, I've been talking about the next set of Keyforge, and I checked back, and I didn't talk about it last time. It must have just arrived afterwards. It came in this fancy box. Oh, finally got somewhere to store all my many decks. And you can name them and put the houses on, so it's very fancy. But primarily this has come with 2 new houses.
Sneeze. No,
all right. The I want to say Saurians. I don't remember. They're dinosaurs basically, but Roman dinosaurs. We don't have any of those at the moment because we've only got this set that came with the 2 decks. And
what are you talking about?
You haven't seen them because we don't have a deck with them. Keyforge.
Roman dinosaurs.
Right? They're literally dinosaurs, but dressed up in togas and
why
swanning
don't we
around.
Because
I haven't bought any more decks because I'm saving money. Sort of. What am I talking about? Oh, and then the basically the other house is sort of a Star Trek mock. Spoof, I don't forget what they're called, the Star Alliance, that's what they're called. And they've been a lot of fun. They've some good effects. So yeah, I've been playing a lot of it by myself, testing out the new decks against old ones. You've played with me a couple of times. I've taught somebody else at the group this week just gone. So really enjoying Keyforge still. It's a good one.
Game.
Yeah, I did
good game.
A video last week about games that I would immediately think of if you came around and wanted to play. It was my number one because it's on my mind so much right now, particularly with the new set.
And I do come around quite a lot, don't I?
You do, because you live here.
Yeah.
But
I don't often want to play.
No. So some news, gaming news. You don't even know what it is.
No.
You excited?
Yeah.
I have told you what it is though. Serious Pulp, the people that produce Seventh Continent, which is one of my favourite games, still haven't quite done a full review of, have done what they kind of said they wouldn't do and have come out with a retail version. So there were these 2 massive Kickstarters that came with loads of stuff. You were very gracious, we bought it, only because we bought too much, then we could sell it, and so we've actually paid a reasonable price for it in the end. They've now done a stripped down version that's much more possible to be manufactured. Doesn't come with miniatures, doesn't come with a couple of the curses it's a much smaller version. And so that's kind of kicked off for us, and for me particularly, you've been wanting to do this for a while, a slimming down, a streamlining, if you will, of our collection. Because I have both big boxes of Seventh Continent, I'm looking at, do I sell both of those and buy the smaller box, because really I don't play it enough to need all of the stuff. And so we've initiated a cull.
It's true.
It's very sad. A couple of my favourite ish games, like top 20 type games have
They're
gone.
gonna be hitting
I saw Gloomhaven, which is the #1 game on the board game database, boardgamegeek.com. Evolution, which I thoroughly enjoy, and the artwork for me is beautiful. That's
Subdivision.
gone. Subdivision's gone. Last Will has gone. There's quite a bit listed. So
Lost Cities has gone.
oh, sad. I'm genuinely sad about.
Well, fortunately, Lost Cities we've just given to a friend, so we can still play it.
That's good. But yeah, so we're cutting down, but at the same time also bulking up. Just backed a Kickstarter, which will be fun, I think, next year.
Have we?
Yeah, I told you about it.
Yeah.
Some kind of a cross between Castles of Burgundy and Concordia, but in a beautiful, same artist as Tapestry, Andrew Bosley, set in a group of islands, Tungaru. I did tell you about this. Just nod. Definitely did. This is how marriage works. Win some Loosemore, where we tell you about board games and how to do marriage. Definitely did. Oh well. But
So
yeah.
Christmas is coming.
Oh,
The
wow.
goose is getting fat. We
We have a pet goose. Imagine.
the overfed bird in the kitchen.
I call her my mother, but imagine, tangent here, being in the times, which I imagine is only 50, 100 years ago,
Yeah.
where you raised, and probably many farmers still do
1500.
this, no, 50 to
200,
100 years
yeah.
ago, and many farmers probably still do this, but being in the situation, because we live in the city, we don't have this kind of understanding, where you've raised the bird,
I feel like this
fed it
towards
up,
the fox.
built, I don't know what you're talking about. The noble fox, like just the proverbial fox, not we
I'm
have
just
a
saying,
fox that you
because
haven't told me about.
we live in the city, we should have fox because they're around. Fatten out for Christmas. Sorry.
But like building this emotional connection and then killing it and eating it, that's like, I've got no problem with killing and eating animals, but that's like having your pet, isn't it? It's weird.
Well, I don't think it is.
Mental.
Like that.
I don't know.
Anyway, my point was, Christmas is coming, and we will likely be playing more games. So next month's update will be full of all new games. We've got a games night this evening with some friends.
Yeah.
So hopefully there'll be more. We can't just do Tapestry.
We can. We don't want to.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll have more to talk about.
And it'll be our
Like,
end
yeah.
of year one, so we'll be looking
Christmas
back over
one.
the year a bit as well, like we did last
Reminiscing.
time. Reminiscing. Oh, sad. But that's probably it, isn't it?
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
If you're looking for games, give us a shout. See if we've got it for sale, or we can give it to you, or whatever. Maybe we
bargain
should do
with
like
us.
a giveaway or something. Bargain
Oh, we
with
should.
us.
We should definitely do a giveaway.
Bargain with us. What does bargain with us mean?
I meant like haggle. Do I?
Oh, barter.
Barter with us.
Barter. All right. What are we giving away?
We're gonna.
8-Minute Empires.
No, can we?
Legends.
We're just gonna let you know.
All right.
And then you can apply.
I'll do a different video, shall I? With like, oh, here's
Yes.
the things.
Yes.
All right. It might not be 8-Minute Empires.
Keep your
I just
eyes
said
out.
The first thing I saw.
We'll do a giveaway, and
for Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas.
All right, that'll do.
That'll do.
All right, thank you very much for watching. Check out our other videos. More will come up. Do subscribe to this channel if you don't already. Hit the bell icon so you stay notified when we put out new stuff. Follow us on. I've heard a new phrase that I'd never heard. The socials. Like as like a term for all platforms of social media. I don't think we're cool enough for that. I heard it on the radio. So follow us on social media.
BBC 4.
I'm not that cool, Kirsty. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram are the primary ones for us. We hope to see you again. We've been Kirsty and Dieter for Winsome. You got confused then that I was calling myself Kirsty, didn't you?
Goodbye!
Bye!